what if I'm dysfunctional? You can't learn dysfunction from a book or in school. If you think you can, you're just another fool. Dysfunction must be lived, be a part of your life, filling your days with pain and strife. I feel like I am drowning in a sea of distraction, like Mick and the Stones say, I can't get no satisfaction. I'm not Mr. Jones, I'm not Mr. Brown. I am Bain, I come from downtown. So what if I'm a little dysfunctional? I live my way, not yours, distracting myself with daily chores. When you look at me, it's me you see. My skin is brown, don't put me down. No Mr. Jones, no Mr. Brown. I am the Bain, I come from downtown. So what, I'm a little dysfunctional. Dysfunctional, dysfunctional, dysfunctional. As Mick and the Stones say, you can't always get what you want. So what if I'm a little dysfunctional? Dysfunctional, dysfunctional. I'm the Bain, I function fine. Thank you. I wrote these while I was in treatment just the other day. I was trying to get out some stuff, so I'm off it, and this helped. This one's called Raised by the TV. Contemplation, the art of thinking about an action. As Nike says, don't think about it, do it. Trying is the art of attempting an action. But as Yoda says, Jedis don't try, Jedis do. Well, I'm not a sneaker or a puppet. I am a man, so I will think before I act, and then I can be accountable for any action I take, if I decide to take action. The sun will come out tomorrow, whether or not I'm trying or thinking. I think, therefore I am, but what am I? I am a human being, but is being human enough? Just what is enough? Enough is all you can take in this life. What does it all mean? Neil Diamond says, I am, I said, to no one there, and no one heard, not even the chair. Of course a chair didn't hear, it's an inanimate object. I am, I cried, I am, I tried. I am lonely inside, so I will go outside and cry. Because as R.E.M. says, everybody cries, sometimes. Everybody hurts the ones they love. It all makes no sense in the end. And if it's the end, why do I feel fine? Thank you, Aerosmith. Insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Take it away, Porky Pig. That's all, folks. Jed Clampett, y'all come back now, yeah?
All right, so again, the poem is called Cinnamon. Sing a hymn of cinnamon, sprinkling on the chicken skin, filling up on tryptophan. It has been upon the wind. Picked up from the litter bin, is it a carcinogen? Since the win in Wimbledon by the thin Dominican, hidden like a simpleton, wishing for some discipline. Citizen on Ritalin, missing shots of insulin, sniffing antihistamine, implicit in his vice and sin. Glistening on lies and spin, listening with wicked grin, giving him a synonym because antonyms just sicken him. Vision of the commission, killing of the innocents, exhibition for the prince, dusting all the fingerprints, incision to the fringe and cringe, decision upon all this hinge, shipping them a kiloton of silicon filament, little bit militant, difficult to implement, scientific instrument, switching an equivalent, imminent imprisonment, it's a win for Slytherin.
Okay, so this is just a poem. Just to clarify, I'm not angry. Well, okay, I'm a little, yeah. But this is, I was thinking about the concept of anger, and especially how it's not allowed, especially with certain demographics. So, it's called Rage. Unbecoming and uncouth, this anger that rises within me, seeking redress and satisfaction. Society and patriarchy try to subdue my anger, control, denial, suppression. What to do with this turbulence? Why not the demure woman knowing her place? But this anger, boiling, simmering, ascending to heights that offer greater clarity and understanding. Outrage can bring sense, brings purpose and subverts, restores justice. Patriarchy fears our anger because of its power to disrupt and obliterate oppression.
Hello. So here's two more. This one's called Too Much Time to Work. Working in the office. Got to go to work. Got to put the pencil down. All the time it took. Climbing up another wall. Never falling down. All the people look at me like I am a clown. As they drink their coffee mugs, as they tap away, tap into their computers, standing in the fray. We are trapped inside it here, trapped in the machine. What will we make out of it, seeing what I mean? Someone comes over to talk at my cubicle. They don't want to say a lot, all the truth you told. Tell me how the weekend was. Did you burn your eyes? Did you trip along the road and see what was inside? I don't have a lot to say, want to even less. So I get out of the way. It makes me depressed. Hiding in the bathroom now, waiting for the end of the world, or just the weekend. Stand around for hours there, trying not to think. Trying to convince myself there is still time to drink. Finally, I make a move, leave the toilet stall. Do I need some bad excuse to explain it all? All the eyes do follow me as I make my move. Try to make it back to desk, a dream is coming true. All the hate around me now, it burns into my brain. It is just another day, another to remain. Thank you. This one's called Assemble the Collection. Visit with the kids again, knocking at the door. All my life is lived again, seeing something more. I am out here on the coast, looking at the sea. Feels like I am getting old, what we get to be. Many days have come and gone, following the trail. Open up another book, what is on the page? See me now through different eyes, going to look away. Camera's gonna make a mark, it is gonna stay. In the light I'm walking now, somewhere in the yard. Make it to another day, take it very far. All my life has come around, led to where I am. Am I gonna draw a crowd when I make a sound? Gonna play another card, it will follow suit. Move a piece along the board, gonna make it through. All these days spent in the sun, moon will come around. Then I've got to find my way, passing over ground. All the light has hit my eyes, helps me find my way. I am out here in the dark, hair is turning gray. It has been another year, it has come and gone. Nothing else is left to fear, I'm carrying on. Feeling like I figured out how the puzzle goes, how to arrange every piece like I really know. Every moment in the day leading to the next. Here it comes another one, never any less. Thank you.
So I'm going to read two poems tonight. The first one I wrote on June 30th. I call it 1,001. 1,001 roses for our anniversary this year. 1,001 roses for my wife that's not here. 1,001 roses I've spread on her spot. 1,001 roses now lay on her plot. 12 roses of red and 1 contrasting blue. Beautiful and unique, just like she was too. A gift for her grave, a beauty to share. A gift I have left that shows I still care. I miss you, my love, every single day. I miss you, my love. I wish I could stay. One day when I die, I'll spend eternity here. One day when I die, I'll be with you, dear. Until that day comes, you'll live in my heart. Until that day comes, I'll have to depart. 1,001 roses, now my journey goes on. 1,001 goodbyes. For you, I'll be strong. Thank you. The next poem, I wrote this a couple weeks ago on August 17th. It's a little more science-based than I usually write. I call it Change. Change is a constant in this universe, you see. Change is caused by forces like gravity. There's magnetism and nuclear forces here too. Time is a factor that's warped by gravity's skew. And hydrogen and helium fuse within stars, creating the dust that makes us who we are. A star's supernova spreads new elements afar, creating the next generation of stars. And so this cycle continues and repeats, creating the elements that make us complete. The dust of dead stars makes the elements of life, and life makes change through struggle and strife. Life grows and dies and evolves through change. Change is a constant through time's endless range. And as life evolved, intelligence was born, and through intelligence an atom was torn. The strong nuclear force now overcome by man, creating more change in a shorter time span. Our knowledge grows as we try to understand, accelerating change faster than anyone planned. For life is change, but change is not life. Change can end our struggle and strife. Change is a constant in this universe, you see. Change is the force that created you and me. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everybody. You can all hear me? I'd like to ask if people can hear me at the back. Can you hear me at the back? Oh, yeah. You know, I once was reading a poem, several poems, and someone at the back said they couldn't hear me. And so anyway, someone at the front said they could hear me quite well and didn't mind changing places. So here we go for a little performance poetry. 1, 2, 3, 4. You hear a lot these days about generation. The X generation and the Y generation and the Z generation, or should that be Z? And now we have woke, whatever that is. Before that was the yuppie generation, and before that was the hippie generation. I liked the hippie generation. Tie-dye t-shirts, bell-bottom jeans, flowers in our hair, love, peace, transcendental meditation. But it wasn't my generation. The post-World War II generation, who forsook the bourgeois ways of pre-war days for the anti-establishment counterculture in a movement called Beat. It was a literary movement led by Allen Ginsberg, Jack Kerouac, who put two poets who put rhythm and poetry to the beat of jazz, bebop jazz by Bird and Diz and the modal cool of Miles, in a mix of music and muse as one. We spoke lingo, the language of beat. We were solid, man. Cool, far out, clued in, not square, you dig? We dug spoken poetry and live jazz. We were the beatniks. Yeah, not many of us left now, though. But we ain't beat yet. Still cool, still hip, still bopping along. Bebop, bebop, bebop. Thank you. You know, I didn't see Henry here. And I kind of, this next poem I dedicated to Henry because I stole, kind of swiped a piece of his culture. So this one is called Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher, cast your net o'er the sky. Catch me a dream that's passing by. Dreamcatcher, my dreams set me free to ride the wind, sail the sea. Reach for the sky to touch a star, catch a moonbeam in a jar. Dreamcatcher, daybreak is near. With the dawn, dreams disappear. Dream watcher, awake to the day. Let my daydreams come out to play. They say dreams can come true if you believe that they do. And this one is for Cat. Woo! It's called Listen. Listen to the breathing wind in the trees, the rustling of the leaves, the whispering of the grasses, the babbling of the trickling brook, the mournful moo of the cow, the lonely call of the loon, the crow at the crack of dawn, the midnight song of the nightingale. Seek not the voice of God in words. Just listen, and you will hear it. Thank you so much. Encore. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. This is kind of different. I got to remember the words on this one. This is about a social issue. You hear a lot about homelessness these days. Late November nightfall. It's got to be 10 below. In a cardboard box by the loading bay, my cold fingers uncork a friend. It's cold in a box by the warehouse wall, but not so cold as the steps to City Hall. You get no welfare if you've no ID, and the shelter don't allow wine. So it's bed in a box for the likes of me, and one last waltz with Matilda across the dance floor of my mind. It's cold in a box by the warehouse wall, but not so cold as the doors to City Hall. I guess one John Doe looks much like another. The city claims the remains, buries your ashes in a cardboard box with the other Johns and Janes. It's cold in a box by the graveyard wall, but not so cold as the hearts in City Hall. When the trumpet calls and it's time to go, the naked soul at last sees all. Did you feed the fisherman? Spare a dime. Was your name on the list when you looked? Was mine. Will your soul rock warm in the bosom of Abraham, or cold in a box lie outside Peter's wall?
It's nice to be here. We were talking earlier that this would be the slowest night of the year, and it just might be. And I have a new poem to read. But first I wanted to thank Gordon for the poem. It did strike exactly the way I like to listen to anything that anyone might call God, is to shut up and listen to the world as it is. Anyway, my first one is called Annoying Grasshoppers. It's 3:45 and I've just started my day after dealing with a slew of small problems since I woke up this morning. Last night I went to bed too long after midnight because I dealt with one small problem after another since supper time 6 hours before. Small problems all. I'm grateful I'm not starving in Gaza, nor at risk of getting shot when I go get food. I'm not standing at the bedside of my child bleeding out their life after another school shooting. Today, on the first day of school, this time shot in church pews. All my problems today and yesterday are small ones I can deal with. But it's like a plague of grasshoppers. You know how there are car accidents on the prairies because the roads get slick with so many crushed grasshoppers? 2 grasshoppers, 10 grasshoppers I can deal with. But non-stop little jumping aggravations over and over again, dozens, then hundreds, what do? So many of these grasshoppers coming out of nowhere are the never-ending demands of political bureaucracies designed to wear us down. Keep us moving, keep us dancing, keep us away from the work that truly matters. Their manufactured emergencies and urgencies threaten much bigger problems if we don't dance to their beat. Beating me down, exhausting me. A small cut is nothing, but there is such a thing as death by 1,000 cuts. 1,000 cuts from politicians beating me down with do this, do that, or else. Prairie grasshoppers plague. Each grasshopper so small. It's time to gird my loins for the battle. Pen, pencil, computer, phone, taking silent breaks in dim, cool rooms to strategize, make coalitions, decide what hill to die on, defend. Small problems haven't gotten me yet, and they won't. I'm a small problem veteran. Learned a few things in my time. No grasshopper is bigger than I am, and I've been through a few plagues before. I'm long-lasting and persistent and strong and pissed off. I survive and teach others how to, too. That was written out of my cold heart experience, but also in response to a challenge from Teri, who had written a poem on small problems and challenged me to write one too. It's only taken a month.
Did you publish it?
Not yet.
Okay, you have to do it, and you have to share it.
Okay. This next one I wrote almost exactly a year ago. It's called "The World is Not as It Should Be." The world is not as it should be. There is much to fear. There's even more to mourn. Genuine hope is lost when people look to a strong man, a straw man to save us. But a different world is possible. There is much to mourn while mothers wail for their lost sons. You know that woman you see on the bus, the new immigrant? All 4 of her sons were killed by a war started by old white men fearing their power slipping away. The woman never let her sons play with toy guns, yet guns have nevertheless shaped her family. Yet a different world is possible. With the wailing comes the anger. Weep, wail, mourn, burn, but do not destroy. Enough has been ruined already. In my quiet life, I have no guns. My son didn't play with guns either. By the luck of geography and citizenship, my son is alive and well. No more dear to me than that woman's sons, very not alive, and family very not well. I can teach my son and whoever else will listen about state terrorism, fascism, and so-called strong men promising to make things great again. But the only agains are fear and loss, suspicion, hatred, war, death. A different world is not something to have back again. A different world is something to create. From an ocean of tears, scramble around for any hope you can find, and you might find a tiny acorn, an acorn of hope. Over and over and over again, imagine what an acorn planted in hope can look like. Mighty oak, strong, dignified, a home for many living beings, a home to protect many beings. An oak in a forest planted by all of us with the hope that we struggle for within us. That hope we search for each day. We need a revolution, but maybe all we have is acorns. Turn towards life, though the world worships death. Turn towards care even though your coworker spouts intolerance. Care for yourself with the same love and fierceness you'd show to an innocent baby, a promise for the future. Because you are that promise. You are our hope, and we need you. Because you, me, we are the ones we've been waiting for. A different world is possible. We create it within us and then around us. A different world is possible. Little acorn hope, let's plant it now. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? Woo! Can everybody hear me? All right, sweet. A 2B. It's like, is that like a 2B or not to be? No? Yeah. All right, hello everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your poetry. I just have a couple to read. This is the only one that has a title. It's called If I Fell, or If I Fall. If I fall into hunger, if I fall into pain, if I fall into sorrow, if I fall from the tip of my head, through my throat and my hips, and out the bottom of my feet, if I fall and don't grab on to anything, I may fall into eternity. But if I don't fall, it's for hanging on to words like these. It's taken me a lifetime to realize that I am convalescent, the still bleeding wound of my ancestors' ancestors. It's taken me a lifetime or more to see that it's just you and me, and I nothing more than a ripple on your surface. So really, it's just you. You who aren't. I bow down to you in my weakness, my complete incompleteness. Somewhere in the astral sphere, my essence loses itself in the murky crystal ball of my mind. It speaks. The body is a jungle. Everything is an upwelling. Thoughts are a hiding place. Time will remember nobody. I listen. And at last I deign to take my seat on the throne of the sea of life.
I have 2 poems for you tonight. You probably heard me argue with the muse a few times. This is one of those poems. I wish poets would be paid for every word. Muse, leave me alone. Why do you want me to write when nobody wants my poems? Why do you insist on me listening to you when nobody listens to me? Does anyone other than poets even read poems? Muse, leave me alone. You occupy so much of my mind and take up so much of my time for not much in return. Muse, leave me alone. Don't talk, don't even whisper to me, unless you can arrange for us poets to be paid for every word we write. And the next one is a little bit more on the light side. Her gypsy soul. She has the spirit of an eagle, likes to soar with the wind and see every nook of the world. She is drawn to the water like a mermaid and swims in the ocean, the lakes and rivers, and is happy when water surrounds her body. She is in her full element in the woods, or when she wanders the prairies where the buffalo roam free. Nature is her happy place. It fulfills her heart and suits every cell of her body and mind. You can find her on the land. You can find her on the top of canyons, admiring the land and the sunsets. You can find her elated under the stars and see her rising with the sun to see a new place. Her gypsy soul wants to yearn, her gypsy soul yearns to wander, to soar with the wind, to see the sunsets, the stars, and every nook of the world.
This first one, how about I'll call it In the Basement. The first night I found myself writing at your desk, I bled my wonder at every dusty secret. The Post-its and Polaroids mounted in the back of a cupboard by strips of green paint. Makeup, medicine, a Coke bottle half filled with coins, beads and acrylics, salt and pepper shakers, and pencil shavings. The ball of black hair wedged beneath ink cartridges. Can you hear my pen and hand scratching mouse-like in your sleep? I spread my palm on the floor. I close my eyes and let the cement freeze over, waiting for Cowboy to sink his fangs in the meaty crook between my thumb and pointer. Okay, how about all right, how about this one? 2 a.m. stories. 2 a.m. stories beneath a lover's rattle. Tonight the ocean visits the dreamer. A thief scales glass towers. A dog traces the steps of a lost poet. A crow buries tourists' charms in the sand. The smell of yellowed paperbacks borne on the air, like a tannery or a feedlot. Constant, the surf's breath echoes against stones. Each morning, the dreamer wakes anxious to tell her where he's gone. He is clumsy with words. Awake, his sole desire is to wrap his arm around her body and fall asleep once more. Okay, how about this one? I'll call it a return. It's been months since I've written at any length. I am running barefoot through a field of fresh-churned badger dirt. I mask my pain with felt scraps, black for courage, blue for cowardice. I seek soft things, items I might fit easily in my one free hand. Folded bills, an empty can, leather steering wheel, tin of playing cards. We eat Vietnamese and get drunk together. My head lands on your chest. Wiping the jealousy that drools from my lips, I press harder and convince myself I am relearning what it means to trust a woman without pen nor paper. Okay, here's one last one. Again, I don't have a title for it, so let's call it Indian Days 2025. I've woken up beside you every day since Indian Days, save one. A string of pony beads punctuated by cactus berries hanging from my neck. The most natural of gifts, like watching the chokecherry bush's arms reach and sag outside my mother's kitchen window. These wet and bright August noons. Each day I returned from work, having won beer and gas money in exchange for my clumsy words, and find you half asleep in a bed that is ours and not ours. I count the palmful of quiet seconds, alone, and admire the ink stains along your drawing hand's edge. A black crescent moon, the false eyelash that will mount your next note goodbye. Thank you.
I just have one poem. It's about different types of homes, but it's called What Can Be in Home. I had many places I called home. It was walking an hour on dirt roads to Grandma's house in the Horseshoe with my siblings, where gophers climbed fence poles to see the vast prairie grasses. The house that was placed across from the old residential school or the nearby cemetery. Home is CJ's, where he always found me a spot to lay my head for the night. Or the trailer my grandma let me sleep in for months. Even a dog named Apikai. Up west, in a peach-colored house where we would play in the farmer's field out back. Home is the trailer in town site after taking the Greyhound from Calgary to Gleason. Or it being midnight and crossing the train tracks with my mom while holding her hand. It can be my sister Raven, the blue bridge that crosses over the Bow River, the red lights that blink in the darkness from the wind turbines. My home can be my car, a prayer in the night to be my late grandparents, the song Choices by the Possum, even a white and gray cat named Ruckert. Home is also a man whose name translates to yellow knife. Thank you.
I have 3 poems that I'm reading. The first one that I'm reading is my darkest poem. It's about my father, and for the sake of the poem, I called him Dad. I don't call him that, though. It's called He Hurts. I had to choose who was it going to be. My mom gave me everything I needed and more. She had a new husband who I loved from the start. Dad gave me pain, he gave me manipulation, he gave me grief. But he told me he was preparing me for the real world. The hits on my brother's back, the scratches and the bruises he had to endure was all preparing him for the real world as he was told. The hunger my sister faced to make sure we had food in our stomachs. We counted down the minutes till we got to see our mom again to be relieved of the hurt for another week. Mom didn't know Dad could hurt his kids like this. Mom was doing her best. I knew who I was going to choose from the age of 8. It was never going to be Dad. It was never going to be the pain we had to endure again. The thing about him is that when you feel like he's gone forever, he creeps back up. He hurts us all over again because he just can't get enough. I feel bad for Dad sometimes. He never knew what it was like to be loved by a mom or a dad. I tried to hug him. I tried to get him to hold up my dolly and make it talk. But he never did unless there was a camera in his face. The photos on Facebook and Instagram are fake, staged, meant to look like he was there to love when all he was there to do was hurt. I begged for Daddy to love me and my sisters, to hug my brothers, but knowing what my mom went through behind closed doors is not so easily told. It's not so easily forgiven. I haven't felt his pain the way I did in 7 years. My brother did, though, just last year when the chair hit the back of his neck, when the bruises formed on his face from Dad's fist. He hurts. The poems are kind of scattered, so I'm trying to find it as fast as I can. I'm sorry. This next one I wrote for my boyfriend. It's called My Boy. My parents told me I didn't know what love was, and maybe they're right. So I asked my cousin what love was like, and she told me it was like her parents. She learned from her parents what love was like and the standards she should hold because she knows her worth. My parents weren't like that, so maybe they're right. Maybe I didn't know what love was. But then I met my boy. He's tall, but not too tall, tall enough that his lips can kiss my head while looking straight. His eyes are brown, but not so brown you can't see them, but brown enough that I get lost in his milk chocolate eyes that look at me as if I'm the only girl in the world. His lips are soft, but not too soft, just soft enough that I feel safe when he kisses my cheek and tells me he loves me. His voice is deep, but not too deep it's hard to understand him, but deep enough that when he says good morning, I get chills down my spine. He taught me how to feel safe in a man's arms and how to seek comfort at the sound of his heart. But maybe I don't know what love is, because all I heard was yelling from my parents, and now I say I'm sorry when I didn't do anything wrong. Maybe I don't know what love is because I still flinch when he moves too quickly because of the hands that were laid on me by a girl in school. But if this isn't real love, then I'll take it because this feeling should be in the lottery wins for the amount of safety I feel in his arms. I never thought that I would fall for a guy with hands like his, but they're soft, but not too soft to the point you couldn't tell that they've been hurt. You can see the bruises and scars on the back of his hand and the knuckle that's slightly out of place. But his hands are still soft enough that when he touches my cheek, I get goosebumps all over my body. So if this isn't love, then I don't know what is, but I'll take it because I love every part of my boy. And I have one more. Just gotta find it. This one is called Trust is a Gun. Trusting someone is like handing them a gun to put to your chest and hoping they don't shoot. I handed a guy that gun and he gave me all the power, or I gave him all the power. He told me he loved me. He told me I was his. I believed him. With every empty word or decision he made was one more bullet being loaded for fire. I stood there with the gun to my chest, still delusional to his words because beauty was blinding to me and I couldn't see the beast underneath. Tears streaming down my face as he shows what he really was. The words, "I don't love you," was like him cocking the gun back and the first fire goes. I'm shot. I got back up and put the gun back to my chest because I thought I could handle it. More words shot from his mouth. "We're just friends," he said, and another shot pierced through my thick skin. I only saw the mask he hid behind because he was a lot like my father like that, always knowing how to fake it all. But I still got back up because I didn't know what else to do. That's all I ever knew. He told me it's over and one more bang to my chest. I trusted him with my soul and he shot me as if I were a target at a shooting range, but it was my foolish self for trusting him with a gun. I handed my parents that gun. The yelling back and forth hurt to hear. I plugged my ears till all I could hear was a silent ringing every time they would yell and fight. It was like them pointing a gun at my brothers and sisters and shooting at them, but I jump in front to shield them from the pain. I take that bullet because I know how to handle it. My parents keep shooting at me and I fall down, but I look at the tear falling from my brother's face and from my little brother's face and I get back up so he knows I can be his hero. I finally took back that gun after the bullets ran out. My parents realized they can't hurt me anymore, but it was my fault for handing them a gun. Trust is a gun that you can't put on safety. You just have to wait and see if you'll be failed or if you'll be loved. I refuse to keep giving people that gun because I can't take the bullet for everyone else's mistakes. I can't keep falling for the beauty instead of seeing the beast. I walk around with open wounds because there isn't a big enough bandage to cover my shots. There isn't enough stitches to close my cuts. I was shot too many times, but I will keep going until my wounds are healed because I refuse to hold a gun to my child's chest. I refuse to make them decide if their siblings are more important or if I am, because I know that trust is a gun. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to read two today, a shorter one and one that's kind of medium. This one doesn't have a title. We are the dead dreams of eternity, draped upon the earth, arrayed in silver traceries, waiting to give birth to possibilities both far greater and more terrible than the best imagination could unearth. Wherever there's a hidden potential, there is also where we would never think to look. There is no secret knowledge, no Gnostic hologram, no grand conspiracy or lost utopia. Only the faint embarrassment of having overlooked something so simple. All that we needed is the proper outlet, and the rest will do itself. Oh, sorry. Okay, and this one's called Numinal Contagion. I found them by the wayside, in the shadows of the known. And if they seemed a part of things, seeming made them so. In becoming so, to cast shadows of their own. Who writes the history of this interplay of light and shadow? Surely no harm could come from giving them a home. I took these thoughts inside me and accepted them as my own. And so within my soul, I gave them a home where they could flourish and come into their own. There are no privileged ideas here. and there is always room for more, even a cuckoo's egg to hatch and explore. When I left these thoughts alone within my core, they crept off while I was sleeping to devour the ones I held before, to slip into amnesia of their ever having store, consuming their material to lend substance of their own, and bringing their dark ambition to fruition within my now evacuated core. There are no privileged ideas here, and there is always room for more, guttering and bleeding to the tune of a half-formed metaphor. It is not your mind that's failing, but your thoughts are bleeding out, and as your mind can no longer sustain them, they turn to someone else, who will take them in and accept them as their own, giving them a home within their soul. After all, there are no privileged ideas here, at least not anymore. Sorry.
So, this is called Watching a Plane Fly. It is a poem about a thunderstorm. Watching a plane fly under a cloudy sky while I listen to piano music. Close your eyes like a dream, mine shall turn from thing to thing. The sky is like Judas, the sun kissed her back, the thundercloud knew this, and twisters are racking the earth. Light enfolds my eye, even though it's dark outside. Nothing can grow without being useless. It's peaceful. Old friend playing landslide on guitar, builds a home by a city tower. High-rise grows like weeds, floor space no one needs. Keeps us cozy, Jesus knows me. Oboe reeds are picking slowly, chords of Fleetwood moments, keep them going. Drop your home 1,000 stories. Clouds adore me, miss the sky, who doesn't last from time to time. The empty building helps her see reflections of those same sown streets. We watch the plane, we watch the sea, while guitar music helps me sleep. The old pianist stops, sees his window with raindrops and streaks like the tires, is tapped like the feet that cover our overcast, sunless streets, with the bustling people who love to grow older and shall never die, or not if you ask them, under thundercloud skies. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Thank you, everybody. It's time to read my thank you notes to and I have to read them to make sure I don't leave anybody out. Thank you. Many thanks to Kara and the rest of the staff at the Owl for their awesome food, venue, and excellent service. Many thanks to Ryan from Rogers TV for recording, editing our event, for broadcasting it, and posting it on YouTube. Thank you to our sponsor, Bev, for sponsoring us this month and the last 2 months. Thanks to Kat for being my co-pilot and her help ironing the kinks out and doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes work. Thanks to all of you poets for participating and our audiences here at the Owl. Thank you to our Rogers audiences for watching our program on TV and YouTube. See you all on Wednesday, September 24th. Open mics are every 4th Wednesday of the month, except for December when we meet on the 3rd Wednesday. The rest of the dates this year is September 24th, October 22nd, November 26th, and December 17th. See you all next month. If you can make it, Have a safe drive home.